Maddie Levine here for Fight Bananas. Welcome back to the channel. So excited to have another wonderful guest, veteran of the game, Impa Kasanganay. Thank you so much for joining today. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how you doing? Just checked in, got to the hotel today, so looking forward to fight week. Do what I
Right, you
love.
got a big week ahead of you. It's
Yeah.
exciting. Thank you for
Mhm.
joining me during fight week. Usually, I'm not trying to talk to anybody that week, but you got a big week for PFL Challenger Series. We're going in the light heavyweight division.
Mhm.
Few days out, and how's the mindset right now?
Mindset's peaceful. Ready to go do my job. So I gotta do my job and take this guy out and get ready for the season. So um, grateful, full of gratitude, excited to do what I love. PFL's been great. It's a different experience, right? Another major league, and it's awesome. So.
Yeah. So this is the first time that you're moving up to the 205 division, correct?
Yep.
So how does that feel so far? What differences have you been noticing at this new weight class?
I'm happy. I don't have to cut much weight, so it's like I'm I'm just at peace. Really, it's like I'm able to really push the pace still, and then to really wrestle the guys and keep the energy strong and uh, have a lot more power in my shots, right? In my striking, and when I'm wrestling, I know for the bigger guys, like they'll start like gassing out, weighing down, and that's when I get going. Always training and fighting at welterweight and middleweight. It's definitely paid off. So I'm excited
Yeah.
about that.
Do you wish you made the move sooner? Because you just seem so relaxed, so peaceful.
Hey, I thought of it. I was like, this has been nice. This has been nice before. I was like, cutting the weight, and especially the 70. 85 really wasn't a bad cut, but it was still a little bit of a cut. This is just a couple pounds. We're on weight, rehydrate, and go do what I love. I love to fight. You know,
Mm.
the weight cut part I could do without. And like I said, Coach Henry Hooped always says fighters fight. It's not about like trying to get out of a weight cut because it's challenging. No, it's like I just want to get here and do what I'm called to do. That's why I think I have a lot of peace. And it's just I get to stay active this year, so just excited about the whole year.
Staying active is always exciting, especially when you have a team like Killcliff behind you with Henry Hooved and a bunch of killers in one place. I saw recently you shared a clip with Ian Gary, who just had an incredible performance over the weekend. What did you
Yeah, he
think of
did.
his performance?
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. That's my dude right there. I love him. Him and his whole family. They're great people. He's a big ball of energy, and he responded well. He took that shot, but he was working the guy the whole fight, and it's cool to see that when you're that young and all that he's doing and all he's going to do, how well he responded. He just turned it up on him and just kept piecing him up. So I was really, really happy, really proud of him. I'd love to see. I was driving back from the west coast of Florida, so I was screaming in the car, and I know it means a lot to me. He's a new father, so it's all like all that's there for him. So I think he's gonna keep
Yeah.
doing great. Very, very proud of him.
And the clip that you shared, it looked like he was giving you a little pieces of advice on maybe some
Mm-hmm.
movement, maybe some distance. Do you remember what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, so we were sparring. It was one of my teammates, actually Emiliano Sordi. He had a fight coming up, and he's former PFL light heavyweight champion. And we were working, and Ian was very complimentary. He said like I was throwing great combinations and pushing the pace, but to make a couple of adjustments by stepping off and creating space to create the knockout, kind of like he did when he started pushing the pressure on a Song, and Song swung. He stepped back and then rocked him, and the guy dropped. Like pretty similar. So it's cool to see him, work with me on that, tell me not to crowd him with my punches, and then do it in the fight. It was just okay, cool, like a live example of what he was teaching me. So he's a good friend, a good partner, and we're in different weight classes. We don't work a lot, but we worked here and there, and it's cool to see it be implemented so quickly.
Right, yeah, just immediately walk the walk, talk the talk at the same
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
And being at a place like Killcliff, I'm sure you just constantly get awesome nuggets of information from all your teammates. Recently, you were in Elvin Espinosa's corner for the Challenger Series last month. Tell me a little bit about that experience and what you thought of Elvin's performance.
Oh my gosh, Elvin, golly, that's a good dude right there. I don't know start. I like Elvin a lot. So Elvin and I got him in. It's funny. We met when I first moved down to Florida at a gym. This boxing coach Jorge Rubio, and we don't. I don't remember like that exchange. I was just new to Florida, to start training at Killcliff, trying to find some extracurricular training. We met. We don't go there anymore. Now we go with Coach Dieter Navarro and everybody at Killcliff. and just to see him grow, it's like a whole lot of emotions for me. I'm not an emotional guy. Like I love people, but for seeing Elvin do his thing, he's a good guy, loves his wife, and he's a great partner. We've always trained together, so like I'm sad to see him really do it together, to put it together. It gets me excited, and being there, he's just funny. He kept talking about donuts in the back. I was like, bro, focus on your fight. Like you want donuts, and he got his donuts. He earned them. And last night he was helping me with my last session before I came out here. And he's already back in the gym. He's doing well, so I think he's gonna do great. I know he can win the tournament when it's time to go win it. He was disciplined. He was sharp. He's a monster on the ground. He's growing on the feet, and he's great on the feet. He's doing really well. You can just see where he finds his comfort, but he challenged himself, and he started fighting hard, and he listened really well. And to finish the fight in the fashion that he did was beautiful. So very, very
Yeah,
proud.
I mean, I thought he did great, and I told him to grade his performance, and he only gave himself a B minus, and I thought that was a little harsh, don't you think?
I think it's harsh, and I think everybody, they say we're on the common phrase, we're our own worst critic. Like you finish the guy in a fight, sometimes you got to eat that and then move forward. For sure, you don't become complacent, but you should be content with that
Right.
because he didn't take him to decision. He pushed the pace. He broke the guy, and that's what fighting's about. It's not about being this perfect technician. There you go. Back. Being a perfect technician or anything like that. It's about beating somebody up. That's what you're going there to do. Great if you have beautiful technique. At the same time as fighting.
So it sounds like Elvin's victory meal, if you will, is donuts. He
Donuts.
talked about it throughout the whole interview that I did with him as well.
Did he really?
So after you win, what is going to be your victory meal?
Oh gosh, that's easy. Brisket.
Easy, huh? Okay.
I love barbecue. Barbecue. If there's any good barbecue in Orlando, if you know about it, or anybody else knows about it, please let me know. I love brisket. So
all right, if anybody out there's got that brisket plug, we got to know because we got to find the spot.
That's my go-to. Any fight. Delano's always like, make sure you get your brisket. I'm like, I have to. So.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yep.
So before you got into the MMA world and created an amazing resume that you have now, you started in football. So what made you go from football to MMA?
Golly, well, I've always loved like warrior cultures and all that, and I drew a lot of inspiration from those, like soldiers, old gladiators, ancient war, just reading about them. And I've always been interested in fighting, but I wasn't allowed to since I was a kid, right? I wasn't allowed to start. I wasn't allowed to fight. My mom wouldn't let me box or wrestle. I get it. And I started playing football my senior year of high school. I got playing college, which is cool. And then I wanted to keep doing something. I wanted to do something to make me better at football if I played in Canada, or if I was like solid enough to get to the NFL. But with the martial arts, I started seeing other football players training to get better. So I figured it was my way to sneak into it. And from that point on, after like training for a couple weeks, then having my first amateur fight, I knew I'd never do anything else. So
that's awesome. So it sounds like your parents weren't really into it at first. How do they feel about it now, all these years later?
They love it now. They're coming to the fight. They're super supportive. Like they've been my biggest supporters. They ask me about how I'm doing. Try not to bother me whenever a fight comes up. I'm like, no, you can call me anytime. I'm like, no, you have a fight. Make sure you're resting. My mom always says, make sure they don't hit me in my face.
That's a true mama right there.
For real. My dad's cornered me 2 fights, so it's been cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, the flag that I carry, he sewed together. It's an American and Congolese flag. So, it's very special. They're very, very into it. And, like, they pray over me, and that means the world to me. And my parents are great people. So I'm blessed to have their support, and I'm blessed to have parents like them. So.
Yeah. You said a comment about your dad that really hit me. You said that he came here with $16 in his pocket. So I'm assuming that the grind mentality that you have probably stems from having a role model like that, right?
For sure. But as my hero, he's the man that I want to be when I grow up. Like, he says I have to do better than him one day, and I'm like, goodness gracious, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. He set the bar so high, and I strive to surpass it. He's a great man of God, loves his wife, loves us family. He does everything and more for all of us, and everybody in my family would stand on that. He's a great man. So I hope I make him proud when I fight and how I live my life and by the way I work. But he's definitely, I seen him. He built businesses. He came here, didn't even know the language, and every single thing he's done has just been like hustle, grind, and I don't feel like I have an excuse in anything to say, oh, you're going up a weight class or you're you're tired today. Like my mom, she'll work like 17-hour shifts as a nurse. You know, like they none of neither one of them make excuses. That's what I'm getting to, and I draw a lot of strength from that for sure.
That's awesome. And not only do you have an amazing fight resume, but college educated, graduated, love it, 3 degrees, like no big deal. That's amazing. So let's see if I get this right. Associates in business and accounting, bachelor's in accounting, bachelor's in finance.
Yes.
So I have to ask, like you need to give me some type of like money saving tip or something. Like give me something.
Shoot, money saving tip. Let's see. Always prepare
Okay.
as if it's winter, so that you can eat in the summer, and always prepare in the summer as it's the winter, so you can eat. Always prepare in the summer so you can eat in the winter. So pretty much it's like when times are great, save a lot. When times are hard, eat off what you saved, and never live above your means. Live a simple life. Try to set yourself up now for what you're going to do later, right? So I would say like all hard work breeds profit, but meritocracy leads only to poverty. A lot of people like our age or who are young and just living life, we talk a lot, show a lot of things. Be pretty private about your money. Like fighting is not a good example of that because your salary is posted all over the world. But be very mindful, save 30% of what you make, especially if you're an independent contractor, right? Be ready for taxes because it's going to come.
Facts.
Don't be so quick to hop on the trendy things. If everybody's buying real estate, you don't have to. Right, dude, listen to the right people. Find a mentor who's going to lead you. Read the book,
like
The Richest Man in Babylon. That's a great book. Think and Grow Rich is a great book. Principles by Ray Dalio. But also just like familiarize yourself with financial terms and things to keep you financially safe. Right. I think a lot of people don't.
Set yourself up for success is kind of what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I won't make you dive into the books or anything like that. I won't make you do like a little history lesson or anything. Because you got more fish to fry this weekend. Going up against Osama El Sadi, light heavyweight headliner. Tell me what we can expect to see from this performance.
The most dominant one. Like it's gonna be the one where the most focused, most lethal Impa I've ever seen. Push the pace, dominate the fight from the stand up to the ground, in between the exchanges, the way that I move, the way that I pick my shots, the way that I select shots, the way that I set things up. It'd be a way you've never seen me fight before. And when I, dominate, I'm gonna finish this fight and claim this victory, then get this contract, and it'll be clear from the get-go.
That's a solid plan, my friend. So we got a bunch of awesome questions online from some fans. So I'm going to give you some of these questions that we got. Let me see here. Somebody wants to know what is it's kind of a heavy question. What is a short, medium, and long-term goal that you have when it comes to competition? So maybe start with the short-term goal, probably this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Short-term goal this weekend, show up, be disciplined, weaponize discipline, dominate the fight, or say, claim this victory, get this contract. Medium-term goal, sweep the season, right? Dominate the season. Long-term goal, become PFL champion, and then keep repeating that. Become one day. Long-term is to be in the, fighting Hall of Fame, one of the greatest fighters to ever do it, and use it to, set my future family up and hopefully help other fighters and people along the way.
I like that. Somebody wants to know favorite moment of your career so far.
That's a good question. Favorite moment.
It's like, where do I start?
The first time my dad cornered me, when I fought Joaquin Buckley, when I got knocked out, my dad was with me. But that was probably one of the best weeks of my life. I didn't come through in the fight. At the same time, my dad, the first time he got to see what it was really like when I was in the UFC at the time, even at a major league level. I had my flags, they were apart, a USA flag and a Congolese flag. And I wasn't allowed to carry both of them, so he sewed it together for me. So it has a special place in my heart. And he told me when I was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, he's like, "All right, go finish your next fight," and I did. So, uh, probably my best moment was that whole week in general. And the UFC honored him. He was loved. Like, he felt really, really proud. And just to come from Congo to the United States and see his kids doing that, that's probably one of my favorite moments of my entire career.
Man, I love that. Tough situation, end result for the fight, but you still had one of the best weeks of your life. I love that. Somebody wants to know about your playlist that you listen to before your fight.
Oh, shoot. Playlist. Okay, mix it up. So it's a mixture of things. I have a lot of worship music, Maverick City, some stuff from the church. Like a lot of hymns, country music, Zach Bryan. Old school, like I like a lot of Jay-Z, Tribe Called Quest. I listen to a lot of salsa. It changes up.
Wow, it's all over the place.
Yeah, so like typically I'll go for walks, so it's like a lot of worship. When I start sparring or shadow boxing, I like Latin music. And as I get closer to the fight, like a lot of rock. I like Jimi Hendrix, a guy named Jake Hamilton. Oh gosh, well, I was just going through my list today. A few different rap songs. I listen to like Lil Baby or some other people like that, but I've always just like good music, like just instruments. So I listen to a lot of like Jimi Hendrix. Was it? That was Black Betty, that song, whatever it's by.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so um, I just like it gets me going. But I have to
Hell
like
yeah.
ease into it, because if I do it too early, I'm like, all right, and start punching my teammates hard, my training partners. So
I like the idea of salsa music though. I feel like that would get me going. Like I'd be in my feels for sure. I like that one. So I have a feeling this one is a teammate. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. And they said, "Who is your favorite Canadian?"
AJ, my man, AJ, Aaron Jeffrey. That's
Yes.
my dude. Yes, of course, it's my favorite Canadian. That's my bro. He's a great partner. Funny enough, he's fighting a former training partner of mine as well. But AJ is fighting on March 31st. I think on the Temecula card, Bellator. But he's an awesome fighter. He'd be great to have on the show. Good guy, really smart, grinder, and that's my brother for life.
And holding it down for Canada, I guess.
Holding him down for Canada, Canadian game.
Well, but thank you so much for chatting on Fight Bananas today. We are really looking forward to you doing your thing this weekend. We'll be tuned in, and best of luck. Can't wait to follow you this season.
Thank you so much for having me on. Looking forward to talking to you more.